Welcome back to another version of Film Buff Bros. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the original, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and we're going to compare it to the remake.
Hitchcock, baby.
Hitchcockery. So, the 1934 version.
Yes, I like it. It's short and sweet. It's an hour and 15 minutes. Great humor in the film. Paced well. I like the editing transitions were really interesting. And I think, again, this movie for a 1934 movie holds out super well, aged well. I like the ending shootout. I love Peter Lorre. And I think it's paced really well as well. What do you think about it?
I think the only good thing about it is Peter Lorre.
Okay.
I usually like shorter films. I like the remake better. I thought, and I hate that there's no scoring. Like music is a big theme in the second one, and sound in general is obviously a big part of movies. And I thought it was lacking. I thought a lot of the acting was stilted, like they were theater actors, like they were performing on stage. And I thought there was comedy and silliness even after their kid was abducted, and just too much silliness in it. And the pacing was too slow to maintain suspense despite being longer. I thought that the climax and the shootout was like way too long. But in general, the story has really good bones, and I think that's why he chose to remake it. You have assassinations, kidnapping, mystery. So, yeah. Yeah,
all the hallmarks of Hitchcock, and probably the best idea was for him to remake this out of all his earlier films. This one,
absolutely,
like you said, real meat potatoes plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the remake?
New one? I love it. I honestly love all the films he did in the 50s. I think I've seen every single one he's done in the 50s, but he owned the 50s. He has just his espionage sort of walking the lines of genres, horror. It's mystery. You get to solve like who these people are, and you're trying to figure out what these messages mean. He finally finds out it's the Albert Hall. The ending is fantastic. I like Morocco as the setting, and the humor is peppered nicely throughout it. Doris Day, great acting. Jimmy Stewart can never be bad in my opinion. So yeah, love it.
I thought all the little plot changes they did were good too. How the guy who gets assassinated in the beginning whispers the information to Jimmy Stewart, and he has to like jot it down. I thought that was way better done, opposed to him finding the note in like the shaving cream applier.
Yeah, and the fact that he was in costume and pretending to be
that was cool too.
That was a cool addition.
And then like the Ambrose Chapel thing, like that being well, I guess they kind of did that. They kind of jump forward. In the original one, it's like A Hall, Aaron Hall, or whatever, Albert Hall, whereas that's where the assassination is supposed to take place, whereas Ambrosia Chapel is the place where the assassins are collaborating. So a little more like indirect. There's more to figure out. And like the music being a big part of it, how when the opening credits come up, like that's the song where the assassination's supposed to take place, and the Que Sera Sera song helping Jimmy Stewart find his son, because that's the song that his son and wife would sing together. And then I really love the fast ending, how there's like the climax and the resolution is like 10 seconds. Like their friends are waiting for them in that apartment or whatever. And they come back. They're like, oh, we found him. Then it's like, boom, movie done. It's like climax, 10-second resolution, movie's done. Or where the shootout scene and like the kid crying in the stairwell. It was just like everything took... And it's a shorter movie, and they took longer with these moments. So, yeah, like super good choice by Hitchcock to remake it. And he never won an Oscar. No,
it's crazy. No, I know. He was close, I would think, with lots of his stuff.
Nominated.
Working with great actors, with good storylines. Yeah, that's a crime. He was never nominated. But yeah, all in all, I think remake is better than the original. But I still think... Even though you made some really good points with the shortfalls of the original, that I still enjoyed it. just because for 34, I was like, wow, that's pretty darn good for 34.
Well, I think that it's so short that it's worth a watch. So you can I think you can learn about filmmaking from comparing the two of them.
Yeah.
And seeing, and again, it's so, it's interesting that the worst one is shorter. Usually when something is shorter, you're taking out things that are superfluous. Somehow they're able to add more and for it to be better. So yeah, it's a great, I endorse watching both of them.
Yeah. Mission accomplished as far as the remake goes, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so that's it for our comparison this week. Tune in next week for another episode of Film Buff Bros, and hit the like button and subscribe to access all of our awesome content.
Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.